Yes, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome you back to Training Sports TV. Today, I will be talking about some of the key games that brought Arsenal or that led Arsenal to miss out, that is on the Barclays Premier League trophy. Remember, after having two consecutive seasons when Arsenal have been runners up to the same team, that is Manchester City Football Club. The previous season, they finished 5 points away from Manchester City Football Club, and this season they finished 2 points away from Manchester City Football Club. Despite of Arsenal closing up the gap towards Manchester City, still in some few attributes, Manchester City has managed to hype Arsenal or to become victorious over Arsenal, that is in the Barclays Premier League. Remember, Mikel Arteta, ever since his introduction, that is at Arsenal Football Club, that was in 2019, signing from Manchester City, where he was serving as an assistant coach to Pep Guardiola, has managed to get some key players that has managed to add in the team and has transformed this Arsenal Football Club away from chasing, that is for Champions League spot or for European competition, then to being contenders, that is in the Barclays Premier League, and even making a regular start that is in the UEFA Champions League. So far, this will be their two consecutive seasons that is aiming out, that is in the UEFA Champions League. However, that's not the mood for Arsenal Football Club, because as per now, they are aiming to get another 14th Premier League title, and they are first, that is in 20 years, ever since the invisible time of, that is 2004, when they managed to win, that is the Premier League on 90 points, and when they were unbeaten, that is in all competition. However, in this season, I'll be just still highlighting out some of the few attributes or some of the few reasons why Arsenal failed out to win, that is the Barclays Premier League, where they had majority of the possession, where they had one of their biggest teams or one of their strongest teams. I can say that in the last 20 years. Remember, out of the 38 games played, Arsenal managed to win around 28 games, making it their best ever. That is in the Barclays Premier League. They managed to lose out, that was 5 games. They managed to lose out 5 games, and also they had other draws that was around, that is 5 games, that made them or cost them to lose out the Premier League. They had amongst all the season, let me say, in the previous 20 years that they had participated, that is in the Barclays Premier League, it's only this season, that is in the 2023-2024 season, where Arsenal manage to become victorious or to become the top gun, more so against the top teams. Remember, I will just give you some of the key highlights in the game that they played up against Manchester City. For the first time, Arsenal managed, almost in 10 years, managed to collect 4 points away from Manchester City. Remember, at Emirates Stadium, they drew. At Emirates Stadium. They beat Manchester City 1-0. That was a late goal from Gabriel Martinelli. And when they went at the Etihad Stadium, they managed also to draw. That was 0-0, which was a plus for Mikel Arteta. Against Chelsea, they drew 2-2 at Stamford Bridge, and they thumped it. That was 5-0. That was at the Emirates Stadium. At Liverpool, they drew 1-1, and for the second consecutive season, they haven't lost a game up against Liverpool, that is in the Barclays Premier League, and at home, they beat Liverpool 3-1. Against Manchester United, they completed the double over them, that was 3-1 at the Emirates Stadium, and even 1-0, that was at the Old Trafford. Against Tottenham, they drew 2-2, and even they managed to beat it. That was 3-1. They managed to beat it. That was 3-2 at their home stadium. So those are some of the key attributes that Mikel Arteta had brought in this Arsenal team, giving an additional factor that we thought that this is time for Arsenal to take the Barclays Premier League. However, these are some of the few games that let them down. For instance, the game in the London Derby up against, that was Fulham at Craven Cottage. Arsenal, where it had majority of the ball possession, dominated everything. However, they lost out. That was 1-0, and they did not not get an equalizer towards them, leading to a loss in that game. Remember, by then, Manchester City was struggling, giving advantage to teams like Liverpool and even Manchester City to get back into the drawing seat. Another game was that again in the London Derby, the game played at Emirates Stadium when they managed to play up against West Ham Football Club, and West Ham convincingly managed to beat it. That was 2-0. That is at the Emirates Stadium, and Arsenal by then had lost steam, despite of them having one of the best defenses, or even the best defense that is in this season, which has granted even their goalkeeper, that is David Raya, the Golden Glove for the most clean sheets kept. That is in the Barclays Premier League. They lost 2-0. So that was also a big blow. That is in Arsenal's pursuit. That is for the Barclays Premier League. Another game that I would also like to bring out was the game up against, that is, Newcastle. I remember by then Arsenal was untouchable when it went at the St. James Park and they scored it a goal that most of us thought that the ball had crossed the line. And that was a courtesy of an Anthony Gordon goal that came, that is in the mid minutes of, that is the 90 minutes, are giving Arsenal a low start, or sending Arsenal below, despite of them having majority of the ball possession. I think that's also some of the key attributes that brought Arsenal down in their pursuit for their 14th Premier League title, and the first one that is in 20 years. Another game was that game they played up against Aston Villa. Remember, that is against a former coach, that is Unai Emery, who has also managed to take Aston Villa, that is the UEFA Champions League title, ever since I think has had the most best performances. That was above 1999 up to date. It hadn't happened before. Was that double loss up against Aston Villa in the first leg. They lost out. That was at Villa Park. They were beaten. And even this recent one towards the end of the season was more so touching when Arsenal was beaten. That was 2-0. I remember those late goals from Leon Bailey and even the big man himself, that is Oli Watkins, are some of the key attributes that led Arsenal down in their pursuit for the Premier League title, despite of them having majority of the better stats that is in this Premier League season, and even had hyped them to take, that is, the Barclays Premier League title. However, luck wasn't on their side when they managed to lose out, that is, to the title. Had they won those few games, if at all they had won at least up against Aston Villa one game, Arsenal could be in a better position to go ahead and stand, that is, in the pursuit for the Barclays Premier League title, or to go ahead over Manchester City. However, Manchester City were also lucky to bounce back to winning ways when they won almost 8 consecutive games after the return of their big man, that is Kevin De Bruyne. I'll be coming back, that is the next time, to be giving the reasons why also Manchester City managed to make it a record 4th consecutive Premier League title, but this time had given Arsenal to go ahead and win this title. To my followers in the whole world, England, where I have majority of my possessors, my subscribers, commenters, and sharers, share this video, watch out, subscribe, comment, and even put their comment. I'm Sexton.